This is part 5 of the City in the Sky. In this part, we're not going to like collect a whole lot. We're going to get a heart piece, but this first half of this video,
pretty big item though, right there.
It's a pretty nice item. Yeah. But we're going to spend pretty much like the first half of this video dangling from pea-hats above nothingness for the most part.
And they are a lot nicer to us than they are in the original Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
And also Ocarina of Time. Oh man, they were dangerous in Ocarina of Time.
Were they the huge ones that it came out?
Yeah, it came out of the ground. It had like razor, like a mower, like with razor blades or whatever.
It was like a weed whacker.
But dude, I hated them on the original Zelda because they were like unpredictable.
Yep. There's
a lot of things unpredictable in the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
But yeah, those things just flew everywhere, and I just could not go around.
Yep. The only downside, like the pea-hats are so useful in this dungeon, of course. You've seen us use them a few times already. We're going to use them extensively here. But like, I kind of hate how long you had to wait for a few of them right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And you saw us fast forward through it. But on the other hand, it means if you screw up, like, or if you take your time or you're not really sure what you're supposed to be doing, you have time to kind of get yourself situated, which is nice.
And I love that they put this little island out here like this, just like a random, like, place out in the, not out in the middle of nowhere, but, isolated. But there's like really not much to it. All we get here is a Poe and a rupee. And I just thought they could have done more with this island.
Yeah, which we haven't really been collecting all the Poes or anything.
No, we really haven't. It's just kind of one of those things like, if they're in the area, I kind of get them.
Yeah, it's good to grab a few of them. And an interesting thing I thought about this dungeon, and that really came to me when we first got to this part, in every other dungeon in the second half of the game, pretty much, you spend so much time as Wolf Link. And in this dungeon, we are only him, like, in wolf form for maybe a minute.
And I think you mentioned that in the first part, didn't you? Or I know you're not a big fan of being Wolf Link.
No, not at all.
I'm not really a big fan of either. It's okay, like, I deal with it.
Small doses.
Yeah, this one, and we do it a lot in the next dungeon, Palace of Twilight, so it was kind of nice getting that break.
And I feel like we had done it quite a bit in, like, Arbiter Grounds, and also in, what was one right before this? Oh, man, we didn't do as much in the...
Temple of Time was before this.
We were a little bit in Temple of Time, not a whole lot. But it was a nice change of pace to get back to a dungeon where you're just Link.
Yeah.
Almost the entire time. And this is... I really love this. It's such a small thing. But you mentioned earlier how much we enjoyed, like, the fact that you can raise and lower with the hook shot.
Yes.
When you're riding that pea-hat, you have to lower yourself down to where you'll fit through the hole.
Like a certain length, yes.
Yeah. And you just right there.
And it's actually a lot tighter than you think it is. Because actually, I don't think I messed up this time, but the first time I played this game, I mean, you think there's a lot more room than there actually is right there.
It doesn't take much. And I love how there's, like, the crack in the the wall that the chain fits through, and then the bigger hole for you to fit through. I just think that takes that concept of raising and lowering.
I kind of wish, like, with the smaller part of it, though, like the thinner part, that you would have had to maybe steer that a little bit. Like, you just, like, the pea like went straight through it. I wish there had been, like, a little bit of steering. Like, if you go left and right, you could go left and right, up and down. That would have been really cool right there.
That would have been.
Because you can fall right there and not die.
Yeah, exactly.
We can fall here and not die either, but
it looks like you're
falling. You die, you just lose a heart.
Yeah, we would die.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about this particular video part right here is we get a lot of great views of the different buildings.
We do.
And, like, just the whole outside area of this dungeon.
Yep, and I feel like I kind of mentioned a part or two ago.
And by the way, that looks like the Taj Mahal right there. Just
it kind of
out of nowhere.
Yeah, good point. But earlier I mentioned that, like, a lot of the area is like overcast. We don't get a lot of sun. Out here, there's a few spots of, like, blue sky finally.
Yeah, so we finally see the sun. It's maybe a little bit later on, I think.
Yeah,
we finally see the sun kind of beaming down at us.
Yeah, but at least here you get, like, hey, there is a sky up there. It's not just clouds and crap.
Well, there are a lot more clouds the higher up you go, though. So
true.
I guess. Well, yeah, airplane flying. Duh. Anyways.
But it's just nice to finally see that. I feel like we've seen the cloudy area so much, and now we finally get to see.
And don't use your iron boots with the pea-hats. It doesn't work. I used my iron boots right there. I sunk them all the way down.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
No,
you
don't want to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense because obviously it's gonna sink.
Yeah, it's heavy. And here's my question: like, to me, this place feels like it was built really, really long time ago.
Yeah,
like you get I don't know why I get that feeling, but I just get that feeling.
Well, it really does, though, because, I mean, you look at, like we kind of mentioned before, kind of like the crumbling walls and stuff. I guess that used to be a factor of being abandoned, but...
Well, who knows how much times between, like, Skyloft and Twilight Princess, it could be... it could be 200 years, it could be 1,000 years, it could be 2,000 years, who knows?
However many generations
in their timeline, theories or whatever.
Yeah.
But, obviously there was, Skyloft that had a city, you could say. So, I mean, this could be from a long, long time ago, which I think adds a really cool factor to it.
Because, I mean, you got to think about how evolved if we work on the premise that this is the ruins of Skyloft, which I love that theory. By the way.
I do too.
So we're gonna work with it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I do kind of believe it. Obviously, Skyloft. It doesn't look like the Skyloft in Skyward Sword, but I mean, I really do think that's contributed to it or related to it in some way.
Yeah, this probably like. When you think about the creative process of building the games, it probably inspired Skyloft.
Oh yeah, well, no, Skyward Sword came. Oh yeah.
Because Skyward Sword came after
go
this.
ahead.
In the order they made the games, is what I mean. But and now I forgot what my original.
Sorry.
No, I got sidetracked.
I thought you meant they got this idea from Skyloft. I was like, no, because this game was first, but you were actually talking about Skyloft being built from this dungeon.
And now I've got my point back.
I'll get you back there.
You got me back there. It's like
teamwork, baby. Teamwork.
You mentioned you wonder how much time has passed. It's like you got to think how much Hyrule evolved between Skyward Sword when it was brand new.
Yeah, it was not even really Hyrule in Skyward Sword.
And here, in this part of the timeline, they've gone through so much.
Yeah,
Like, they built the Hyrule, Empire, or Kingdom.
Yeah,
Kingdom, I guess, not Empire. And everything's happening Ganon and all this stuff, and it's like, so much time had to have passed. You're right.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, like, I really like that. Like you mentioned, it looks like it was built a long, long time ago. Because, I mean, if we work on that theory, it has been a really long
that's true. That is true. I had a really good point while you're talking. I can just not remember what it was. It was something with Skyloft too, but oh well. Wouldn't be the first point that went blank.
No, definitely. We're lucky it doesn't happen more often, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, yeah. We usually just go on to the next subject. Yeah. If we just throw something in there, it's because we forgot what we were going to say, and we just want to go right on to the next thing.
Yeah. We try to say too often that we just totally lost our train of thought. It does happen sometimes, though.
I think a lot of times, like, you're talking and I have it, and you keep on talking, or vice versa.
Exactly.
And I just kind of forget.
Because sometimes one of us does get on a run and just keep talking.
We always get on a run, both of us.
But that's when you know
our commentary is non-stop runs.
But that's when you know we're enjoying what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we do enjoy talking about Zelda.
We do.
And here's one of the very few places that I mentioned that we have to do this as a wolf, or at least I assume we have to do it at the way.
But I like walking across the ropes, though.
It is a cool concept, and I think you only do it like on 2 or 3 ropes. But
we do it in Hyrule Castle. Oh well, here, you want to do it on 2 or 3 ropes.
That's right, we do it in Hyrule Castle.
We did in Hyrule Castle, which was kind of cool. So you had that main room in Hyrule Castle, and like you kind of walked across the. There was this spiral staircase. That we had. And we were kind of walking up the ropes like that way. So.
And I'm glad that you noticed these enemies because I feel like this is the first vines in the game that had little spider critters on them.
Well, watch the walkthrough before you get it.
That helps, of course. But I feel like, man, I would just go climbing right up this and falling promptly back down.
Yeah, it would have been a pain to get back up here, really. Well, I wonder if the hook shot went. I don't think the claw shot would go that far. No, there's no way.
No, I don't.
That's one of those things where Nintendo would make it like a foot past how far your claw shot reaches.
And that's something I meant to hit on earlier. You mentioned when we got the upgraded, or when we got the second claw shot, like, is this an upgrade to the first? I'm like, man, the one you have already is pretty dang long.
That is true, yeah. I mean, that first one shoots pretty far.
Yeah, and I'm really glad. It's kind of the same way with which other game do you start out just with the long shot?
Majora's Mask. Yeah, Majora's Mask.
Like, I'm glad that you don't waste a dungeon item on a elongated.
That's what makes me mad about Ocarina of Time. There's not many things that make me mad about Ocarina of Time.
Not many at all.
You actually don't get the hook shot. You get in the graveyard, not the Forest Temple.
Yeah.
But just that first one is so short. It's just like so pointless in my opinion. Just
exactly.
Getting right to a long shot. And personally, I like Skyward Sword, where it gives me both long shots and double of them.
Yes. I mean, that's
the way it should be done.
Just to make it more insult to injury. Yeah. Naturally, when you get the upgraded hook shot in Ocarina of Time, happens to be in the Water Temple.
Well, that's not the only thing good about the Water Temple is the long shot.
But yeah, I agree. Like in Skyward Sword, you just get everything. It's longer. It's the double. It's great. But I'm glad they didn't waste the upgrade here on just an elongated.
Yeah. And going back to your whole vegetation, like plants growing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, here's a good example of it right here, where there's a lot of like plants and vegetable life, vegetation. You know, green stuff. There's green stuff going on right here,
and it's like overgrown too. Like it looks like it needs to be cut.
Yeah.
Like your neighbor who never cuts their lawn. It's
I know a little something about that, but go ahead.
I mean, but that's what it looks like down there when it's that grass you can cut.
And this is definitely the greenest area that we've had.
And I guess it makes sense too, it being outdoors like this. But yeah.
Well, this is kind of like, this whole place has been open, But this is really, I feel like, the most open part so far. Because, like, I mean, there's really no walls around. Like you said, like, we kind of got a little glimpse of the sun earlier, I think.
Yeah,
we must have missed it if we did.
We had the blue sky at least. I'm not,
So, I mean, there's
just the sunshine.
I guess there's a chance for stuff to grow right here. And we even got a tree right there. So.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And there was, like, the tree on the little island off this room and everything, too. It's just...
Yeah. It's amazing how life flourishes in, like, a place like this that, like, you know, really doesn't have anything going on. There's really nothing up here anymore. But
makes you wonder if it used to be a little courtyard or something.
That's true. Like this stuff. Maybe for a castle, like a courtyard for a castle or something like that.
Exactly. Either way, you're right, though. It is, like, one of the greenest areas in this otherwise dreary dungeon. But this is the end of Part 5.